Hey guitar players, today we're going to be talking about how your mastery of the major scale is going to help you become a much better blues improviser. And to help me do that, I have a G blues backing track. The chords are simply G7, C7, and D7. So no weird jazz blues turnarounds, no altered scales, none of that stuff here. It's just going to be the parent scale for each one of these chords. So over the G7, I'm going to be using a C major scale because G Mixolydian is from C major. Over the C7 chord, I'm going to be using an F major scale, which is C Mixolydian. And over the D7 chord, I'm going to be using a G major scale, which is D Mixolydian. So what you need to know how to do is, I need to know a C major scale from here to here to play over the G7 chord. I need to know an F major scale from here to here to be able to play over the C7 chord. And I need to know a G major scale to be able to play over the D7 chord. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the track on, and then I'll play over it, and then we're going to talk about it. Alright, so let's talk about what we just heard. First of all, this video is not going to be a deep dive into modes, chord scales, that type of thing. I'm making that video in a couple of weeks, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Today, simply, I just want to let you guys know that all the effort put into learning the C major scale throughout the entire neck is going to pay off. When I started off playing guitar, like a lot of you, I learned blues using the minor pentatonic scale. Which sounds great. And I love that sound. I still do today. It's the backbone of my playing. But it's not the best scale for playing over the one chord in the blues, because the one chord has a major third. And that scale has a minor third. So if I play the chord and the minor pentatonic scale at the same time, I get this. Ugh, gross, right? And so the minor pentatonic is not the best choice for that one chord in the blues. And a lot of this comes from this notion that because the blues is sad, right, because it's blues, that all blues songs are minor. And that's not the case at all. I'll even say that probably over 90% of the songs in the blues genre that I've learned are dominant seventh, meaning major songs. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Like, most of the songs in the blues songbook are going to be dominant seventh based. That G7 chord is one major third, perfect fifth, flat seven. And so if the chord is based on a major thing, I'm going to need some sort of major sound to go over it. And that's the Mixolydian mode. That's why it works so well. So if you know all your G7 chords throughout the neck, and we'll be talking about that, you can take one, like this first inversion up here at the 12th fret, it's buried inside of the scale there. Or this bar chord you're probably familiar with. The scale is inside of there. And so if you know the C major scale, the note C is actually going to be kind of dissonant over the G7 chord because it's a half step above the major third. So you got to think of the C major scale, but not play the C's as much because it's the avoid tone. And this is what I mean. So if I'm playing the G7 chord and I play the C, that turns it into like a G7 suspended fourth, that type of thing. All right, so what we want to do is think of the arpeggio and the chords. This is why learning your chords is so important. Okay? So what I encourage you to do, take a G7 backing track and try learning your C major scale and playing it throughout the entire range of your instrument, focusing on your G's, B's, D's, and F's. And so I'll play a few of the phrases that I was doing. And so I'm focusing on those tones over the G chord. And so it's really kind of interesting how knowing your major scales can help you out so much. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't want to learn my major scales because I wanted to play rock music, so I just missed out on all these different scales and modes. So I encourage you to do the same. All right, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.